I had some funny things happen too. We're up on a quiet section of Tobruk. We're well back. We're about 400 or 500 yards from the front line, and what we call the blue line, which is a reserve line. And I was mounting the sentries this night. I mounted them all around, and the last man that was there, I sat and talked to him a while, and then I walked away without thinking. And the ground's dead flat. And after I walked away, I realised, my God, I'm lost. I don't know where I am here. There was nothing to see. There was no hills. There was nothing. Dead flat. And I kept on going. And then I came to a cairn of stones. And that meant that was a minefield. Now I said to myself, I'm either about to go into a minefield, or I've luckily walked through it and got away with it. What's it to be? And I thought the best thing I can do is just very quietly lie down here until dawn breaks. Now, there was a thing I'd heard of, but I'd never seen it, called a puff adder. They reckon they're very, very dangerous, deadly, and they usually, before they hit you, they spat, and you could hear the puff. And I'm feeling for mines, and there's none of these jumping jacks. So I lay down very quietly, and just as I'm about to put my face down on the sand, I felt this wet stuff hit me, and I heard this puff. And I thought, oh my God, it's a puff adder. He's going to get me. So I thought, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I'll just have to lie here and wait. So I waited there with all this spittly stuff sort of sweating on me, and nothing happened. So I lay there exhausted, and believe it or not, I went to sleep. And you know what? When I woke up, 50 yards away was the place I'd left my mate. He was there, the trench was there. I'd just been going around in circles. Oh. And there was that, and we had friends there, mates. Things were picked up, There was these jerboas. You know what a jerboa is? There's one there. See that bloke?
Oh yeah.
They're like a kangaroo rats, and they had a bushy tail. And first time I ever struck them without one moonlight night from the trench, and I looked like all these feather dusters bouncing, and they can jump 3 metres in the air, spring straight up, and that's what they're all doing, like kangaroos. They're jumping, and all you can see these feathery tails, And there was that, and there was a thing called what was it, jerboa, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. These things called a chameleon. You know a chameleon?
Oh yes,
yeah.
They change colour.
Yeah. Well, a mate of mine had a chameleon, and he used to carry it with him, and it would change colour. He'd put it on his hat or something like that, and in a short time it would change colours, And it had this thing, like, how you at parties you blow and the thing comes out? Well, the tongue was like that. It would send this, and the fly, it would sit here, and it didn't have feet like ours. It just had 4 feet, and they were like that. And it would be like that, and it'd be like a small crocodile. And it would rock backwards and forwards like this.
Oh no.
And there'd be a fly there, and the next minute, it would come straight out, and every time, all these flies. And then there was another mate of mine, he had a hedgehog, would you believe it? He was out on patrol one night, and he caught a hedgehog. And of course they're very much like our echidnas. And he became friendly with him. He could do anything with it. He used to take it in his plastic pouch to go out on patrol. And instead of having ammunition in one pouch, he carried this bloke, and he'd take it out and let it go for a run around the desert, and then he'd go and pick it up. If we tried to pick it up, it'd roll over like a ball, and all he'd see were the eyes and this nose, and all these spikes, Well, he had that for months out, his friend, a real quiet-spoken bloke who was a farmer, and he used to say, there's nothing wrong with this army, he said. This is for back in peacetime now he's talking about. He said, you get to sleep in till 6 o'clock in the morning, and he said, you get a cup of tea and that, and he said, out in the dairy, he said, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning milking and all this sort of stuff. He said, you get all your feed, you get your uniform, you get this, it's the next thing. Anyway, he's got this thing. So after a month of having this thing up there, eating our lousy canned bacon and filthy stuff, we went back to Palestine. So he thought he'd give it a treat, and he gave it a feed of some stew, proper stew, and it got stuck into it and it killed him. Just rolled over and died. He was heartbroken. Yeah. Now listen, if I've given you too much, just let me know.
I think you've given Scott exactly what he was wanting.
Yeah.
He wants to do the
Now
the human side of it.
I must say this much now. We had what we had as garrison in Tobruk. We had the 9th Division. Now the division I belonged to was the 7th, and we were sent. Our 7th Divi cleaned up the French up in Syria.
Yes.
They were minus the 9th, 10th and 12th Battalion. They sent us into Tobruk to support the 9th Division, who were untrained. You see, our blokes were pretty good trained. I was just a reinforcement. I wasn't as well trained as them. Now we had them, and we had the Royal Horse Artillery. That was the British Royal Horse Artillery, and we could never have held Tobruk without them because they smashed the German tanks. And then there was the Royal Navy. Now without the Navy, we didn't have a hope. They brought every bit of food that we had, every bomb we had, every wounded men that was taken away, they were taken there, and they even took all the prisoners of war back on these ships. And then there was the Vickers machine gunners. They were Vickers machine gunners. I became firm friends with a few of them, and a lot of them came to Australia after they joined the rest of the book. They were local mates of mine. I've got photos over here of them. And that was the Navy, the Vickers. And then there's the Scottish ack gunners. Without them, they used to shoot these German planes down. They'd stay by their guns the whole time as they came straight down, dive bombing them, and they'd wait until they shot them down or got blown to pieces themselves. And when we were going out, I didn't know anything about it. We were being relieved from the book. We were just week after month, and then we were drawn out of the trench and we went to the back area, and we told to hand all our weapons over to these Polish fellas. They were the Carpathian Brigade. Now a lot of them came to Australia after the war too. And I handed this Tommy gun over, and I never even kissed it goodbye. I just handed it over, and we went to the back area and we're sitting there, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell about a bloke named Padre McIlveen. He was a Salvation Army Padre. Now, he was one of nature's gentlemen. He's a terrific bloke. And he had this wind-up gramophone, would you believe? And he used to come around carrying, with his batman carrying this, and he'd sit in the dugout and he'd put on all these 78 records playing all this sort of stuff, mixed up with sand and grit and everything like this. And he used to sing this song, "There is sunshine on the hill, sunshine on the hill. There is shadows in the valley, but the sunshine on the hill." He'd be singing this, you know. And this night we're all there, and we start to sing this song about shadow. And someone yelled out, "Oh, shut up, you mother poofters." and someone says, "Padre McIlveen here," and they shut up straight away. So